right, good afternoon. So it's actually the first time we present as a company at any conferences, so we're quite under the radar. So please feel free to drop by the booth if you have any questions. It's going to be a quick 10 minutes. I had already too many coffees, been doing that for a couple of times this morning. So we are a producing company in Mali. We've been producing since 2017. We have a market cap of $250 million. It's owned by a large strategic who owns 66% of the company. You should have put that somewhere. It's been run very tightly over the past 4 or 5 years. We've generated cash and paid actually our first dividend last year. Funny enough, if you put a structure of a top 20 highest paying dividend mining stock in the world in 2020, we rank as a number 16 or 17 in this ranking, which is quite unusual. So you can see a map on the left. This is where we are. We literally between Firefinch, Nampala Mine, and Syama, the Resolute mine, sitting next to them. We've been producing for 4 years about 50,000 ounces a year. Obviously, this is why we built this in the first place. It's a very strong business built on I mean, you have to do those days, but it's really key for us. As you can see, I think the main thing to highlight, there's lots of text in this, but we have 600 employees and only 7 expats running the entire sites. Even the cross shift from our main technical person is from Mali, so very much anchored into the local community, local knowledge. We try to be as much as possible a Malian company and trying to keep to the international standards. We've just applied for the cyanide code. We are ISO 45001 2018, trying to have best practices. We unionized our workers. You might feel it's a bit weird, but as a French management team, we used to deal with unions. That's what we did with Mali. It worked pretty well. And we never had any strikes, even though all the other mines stopped. We trying to manage our workforce this way to keep everybody happy, including the main unions. So the team here has been working together for 35 years, doing lots of different businesses. It's backed by Mr. George Cohen, and his son is the CEO. Has been the CEO for 3 years now. Augustin has been working as well since 2013 as a CFO of the company. And Nicholas is the head of legal human resources, and those teams have been working together for close to 30 years. You might not know Mr. George Cohen, but he's done extremely well in his life. He still holds the records of breaking the best performance on the French market for about 2 weeks. It was increased 25% a day. So he introduced his company, made 28 times his money, sold it for 3 billions to a large French company. Did the same with Ultragas, sold to Eni 40 times his money. 6 times his money, sold to Volvo. So he's used to take business, restructure them, back them, and sold them to majors to make sure and making some decent returns on the way, as you can see. We're quite far away from those numbers right now at Robex. When he invested, the company was $50 million market cap. It's now 250. We paid this dividend last year, which if some of you bought some shares, you would have the same about a 20-30% yield and a 3 or 4x. This is what most of our investors are sitting on right now. So as I said, we're sitting just between Syama and Morila, very prospective region. We have a couple of exploration properties, quite early stage. If you could see this graph, it's current value on the Y and confidence on the left. Most of them, other than our production asset, which has been in production for 4 years, with still 9 years left to go. We need to progress those assets, pretty usual. So we need to drill. We will be drilling next year to try to find, to build another mine. We've been on a TSXV since '85, exploring for gold. Now we are a producing company, so we'll be drilling to build and not drilling to flip or sell it to somebody else. Just more for those of you who are geologists by background, I'm not a technical person, but this is where we're sitting. You can see Syama from Resolute and Morila Next to it, we're sitting on the same trend. At the south, you have Tongo and Sissingué from Perseus and Barrick, which obviously are very strong producing assets. We haven't really explored our entire package. We were focusing on production, getting cash flow, and obviously paying a dividend. So as I said, since 2017, we've been performing quite well. You can see on the bottom right, recoveries and availability of the plant, just to give you a sense of how well this thing is running. I wouldn't say like a Swiss clockwork, but it's getting there. Very simple process, CIL gravity, and trying to keep our holding costs down. As you know, there's a challenge in the industry to get the salaries on check, supply as well. Of goods is starting to be an issue, and Mali, it's not an easy place to operate, so we had to take security measures and make sure we all operate in a safe environment. So this is our mine, which now we have 8,000 ounces at a pretty low grade, which you would say, but it starts to develop into a big operation to our standards. We now have 4 pits, and we will continue exploring alongside the same trend and expand the life of mine. We went from 3 when we started the mine to 9 now. So we are effectively at 13 years life of mine. We more than quadrupled the life of mine since we started. Hopefully we can find more. We have more drilling to do, but only a geologist can tell. But even geologists now can't tell. So that's how the extent of our land package. We're redoing the work. You can see it's quite big. You can, on the top right, you see the mine, which will bring drilling extensively. And the property we just bought next to it, and it's go all the way to the south. There's some artisanal workers pretty much everywhere, like in this part of the world. This is all the work that's been done on the properties. It's quite exciting. There's very professional work. The same land package was explored by BHP, Newmont, Anglo. Obviously, when gold was at $300 an ounce, nobody cared about 0.7, 0.8 gram a ton. Now it's suddenly becoming interesting. So we're looking at the data, trying to compile all the data from all the majors and trying to see if we can squeeze some cash flow out of it. So very exciting times. We also have 2 exploration properties alongside the Senegalo-Malian shear zone, SMSZ for the which sits directly alongside trade from Yatela, Sadiola, Lulo, Tabakoto. You can see all our 2 properties. Sorry, I'm just in red, and all the producing assets. For those of you who've done the research, it's those are big deposits. Whether we will find something, it's hard to tell. It's almost the end. Says the clock. 1 minute. Okay. This is one of our exploration properties. We've drilled it 5,000 meters. We need to do more drilling. There's some interesting intercepts, but obviously before saying there's a mine, there's some work to be done. We'll restart drilling early next year. Probably a small program of 2,000-3,000 meters. We'll have to see, and strategically located to find something. We have this other property as well, where obviously all the white is artisanal miners. So as you can see, it's been extensively ransacked or stole from us, depending on how you put it. We found one interesting 3 meters intercept at 101.5 gram a ton. So it's probably why there's so many people. There's definitely gold. Whether it's commercially viable, I'm not quite sure. We'll have to see, and we'll start drilling this year as well. So all in all, just to summarize, this is my last slide. There's 3 pillars that we want to put out in the market. The first is operation. 30 seconds is my last slide. Production, keep on producing, keep the all-in sustaining cash costs low, so we have a cash flow coming from the operation. Exploration, increased life of mine, obviously, by finding on our land package exploration of our West Malin property. And we want to acquire a second project because we feel we've built something interesting for the market to know. We have a very lean management team, and we're not afraid of putting another low-grade, medium-sized resource into production. As we've shown to the market, we can make money from it, and we can bring something live and hopefully pay more dividend. So that's our story, and let me know if you have any questions.